Lauhanvuori is located in the southwestern part of Finland, approximately 60 kilometers east of Pori. It has hiking, biking, skiing, and dog-friendly trails, as well as cooking sites and camping sites. It consists of two separate trails that are connected in the middle of the park, and the lower half that we completed is approximately 22 kilometers. On this hike, there is several lakes, there is a deer farm, and several rock formations and fresh springs. Our journey in Lauhanvuori started over here at the parking lot, which looks like it's next to somebody's home, and starts through here, regular bushes and everything. It's actually rather unkempt in comparison to other trails in Finland. This section through here, very narrow, and there's a lot of trees and brush. Then right here, there's a little spring, and then a camping spot right here. We didn't actually stop there for food because somebody else was there. And then we continued on here and ended up going down here. This blue trail here is all dedicated to skiing, and we ended up coming down this one despite our wanting to go down this way where the actual tower is right here, the Torni right here. And this was the highest point in a island that was in the middle of a massive lake, which is why there is rock formations that you'll find on the exterior from the old beaches, which is what this largest rock thing in Finland is or something right here. The rock formations are called Devil's Gardens over here, and so we ended up marching down this one to about right here, and we stopped for the night at the lake there. You can drive right up to this and stop right here in the camp spot. I think you have to bike or hike into this one at least a kilometer or two from the parking lots. We only stayed on this lower trail, which is 22 kilometers, but there's also this upper trail right here. The second day, after waking up and going swimming and stuff, we hiked down here, and you'll find that there's a lot more swamps in this area and a really beautiful freshwater spring about exactly right there. Then we came through this area up top, and there's the large rock formation that used to be an ancient beach. And then as you come through this area, the bottom half is actually a road, and there's a whole bunch of houses and red farmhouses and everything on this. It's a beautiful little thing, but there's not much shade on a hot day. And that's the route we took through Lauhanvuori. One thing we're definitely noticing on this hike is that there's a lot of road. Just regular old road, like behind us, right there, and in front of us, and then there's a few other that we went on. Some of them are more grown over and older than this one, but there's been quite a few roads. And now for our sponsor. Take care of all your mountain biking needs with SPORTAX, located in Tampere, Finland. In addition to there being several roads that run through and across the trails, there are several very fresh small springs that run throughout the park. So there's a spot right here next to where this waterfall's at, little itty bitty waterfall. And there's a path that goes the path, and then there's one that goes right next to it. And I totally understand because this little creek is so clear and so beautiful. And I've only seen clear water out of like the Sawtooth Mountains in Idaho. But I think it's because there's all this shrubbery that just cleans the water as it comes down. There's something over here. There's something over here. I wouldn't exactly call this safe. What in the world? Do
you remember what it's called?
Something Devil's Garden.
Okay, so right here we have this fenced area. It's probably big because it just keeps going, and it's for deer of some sort. But we can't see any right now. They're probably sleeping. Maybe we'd sit here for a day or night, maybe we'd see some, but... Okay, back to the trail. I'm getting hungry.
We were fortunate enough to actually see some of the deer out and about. There was two, like a pair that ended up crossing right next to it. This trail goes right alongside this fence. I don't think there's actually electricity going through it at the moment, but I wouldn't try it. Here was the one camping spot that I mentioned where we didn't actually end up stopping. and it has a very, very beautiful matte green just across everything with trees poking up through it. Then we march down to the parking lot area and the first campsite. Yeah, oh, it's a really, really small campfire area. Usually they're much more robust. Yeah. I like this spot though. I mean, it looks really, really shallow. I don't know why neither of us have. I mean, you can try. It's very shallow. All of these sites were decked out with plenty of wood. It was very fresh, new wood though when we did this, and some of it really, really needed to be dried out. Like I said, this area has a bunch of geo-biking trails that are absolutely wonderful. This entire area has a lot of signs that really do point you in the right direction and keep you going. As long as you're not in the skiing area, there's plenty of signs that it's almost impossible to get lost. Then we came up to our camping spot and set up tent. We ended up sharing it with someone too.
The lake is called Spitaalijärvi, which means leprosy lake, because back in the day people thought that the water in the lake could heal diseases like the leprosy, and they even delivered this healing water to the Russian Tsars, and maybe afterwards they have thought that maybe it was because the lake has an exceptionally high pH.
This site is absolutely beautiful during the summer. The golden light comes through and it just peeks through all the trees, across everything. Everything just has this wonderful, wonderful golden light to it. About the time that we did this, the sun came down around 10 in the evening, and it never really did get completely dark. You didn't really need any flashlights because you could always see well enough to walk around. And this place is also furnished with dry bathrooms as well. And then we headed off for the second day. The second day held a lot more swamps than the first, that's for sure. And there was a bunch of wildlife and birds and stuff. And also on this trail, up ahead, there is a bunch of freshwater springs. I think we've crossed about 2. And it's a totally different trail than doing the other one. Where the other one is very, very forest looking. This one has a lot of pitkaspuu that you actually need to be walking on because it's a swamp. It's just a swamp. Followed by the latter half of it, which is then you come out of the swamp and it's a lot of green just like before, and then the trail that is actually the road. And these freshwater springs were absolutely beautiful. Some of the most well-preserved freshwater springs in the world. Just bubbling up right through that sand. I think there's a bunch of salmon and stuff that have an ecosystem going on here. Absolutely beautiful location. These are the ancient beaches that are formed here, where it deposited all the rocks.
Look at this one, it doesn't. Oh, I grow here. Rounded granite pillars. They're called tors. They look like they're boulders brought by ice, but they're a part of the bedrock. They were formed over 20 million years ago when Finland was in a much warmer climate. Like that. Zup, zup, pop.
And the latter part, like I said, is the road with all these red barns and everything and people's houses right there. If you enjoyed this video and are looking for more places to go hiking and biking and camping in Finland, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we're going to be releasing a video at least once a week for the remainder of the summer. Thank you for watching and take care.
It's locked. I see a lock.